guys know this or not, but the only reason why you guys believe in God is because it's a crutch. Makes you feel better. I'm sure you're aware of that, right? I mean, clearly you believe in the spaghetti god monster because, or the tooth fairy or Santa, because it's a crutch. Makes you feel better about your existence. Right? Isn't that what we're doing? We're just playing church, right? We don't actually mean this stuff. This is all just, foo-foo-y anyway, right? Praying to a spaghetti god monster. It's a crutch. Makes you feel good. Right? Isn't that what we're doing? No? How many of us have heard this before? Yeah? Okay, good. Somebody out there is going to lose it on me. They're like, wait a minute, are you an atheist right now? I don't understand what's happening. But that is what's common amongst a lot of people who raises objections against the faith is you believe in God because it's a crutch. Makes you feel good about yourself. It doesn't actually say anything about reality. It's not an accurate way to view or believe in truth, right? The less elaborate version of the objection basically has the same types of premises or inferences, rather, adhere to the laws of logic, and then end with a conclusion that is necessarily true if the premises are true. And what we have here is just an assertion. Let me say that again for those in the back. That objection, which is to say that you only believe in God because it's a crutch, I don't hear an argument. That's not an argument. That's an assertion. You just made a statement. You're just mocking the faith at that point. Does that make sense? It's not an actual argument. An argument has inferences. It adheres to the laws of logic. It has two premises and then a conclusion. Right? But that's not what they've done by making that, if I might say, stupid comment. You just believe in God because he's a crutch. Right? Or I've heard it said this way, God is just the ecstasy for the masses. God is just the ecstasy for the masses. God's just the marijuana for all of you guys that just want to get high and live in your bubble. The fact is, you can't accept you're just going to turn into worm food. I've accepted it. Why won't you? Because you're weak and you have to have a crutch. Right? And if this person wants to get really creative in their wild assertions as to why Christianity is not true, and if they are very serious about their opposition against Christianity, you know the ones I'm talking about, the atheists, the veterans, who spend a minimum of 10 minutes online researching an argument against Christianity. I'm talking about the really serious ones, right? Researching out their objection, the serious ones, then you may get a spaghetti god comment thrown in there as well. Because those are tough to handle. My goodness. Because what I mean by God is that I can always add one more spaghetti or noodle. Right? It's very easy to overcome that objection. Why? Because what we mean by God is that he's immutable, unchanging, all-powerful, all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent. Right? Well, when you're inflating a spaghetti god monster to the God of the Bible, it's a little disingenuous. Because with the spaghetti god monster, I can just add one more meatball. I can always just add one more noodle. Right? Doesn't that follow? So on purpose, so it seems, you're misrepresenting my God. Make sense? Furthermore, before I move on, and those veterans, those real serious atheists that take 10 minutes and find an argument online, go ahead and point that out. You didn't make an argument there, guy. All you did is make an assertion. All right, moving on. How do you handle that objection? You only believe in God because it's a crutch, because you're weak. You're weak-minded and pathetic. Well, for starters, point out the fact that it's not an argument, right? It's not an argument for the existence of God or the non-existence of God. It's not an argument. It's an assertion. I would start there. Because as I mentioned before, arguments always have two premises and they followed up by a conclusion. Right? Okay. Second, just because I take comfort from something, it doesn't follow that it's not true. I can leave my house and I can take comfort in the fact knowing that my wife loves me, but whether or not I take comfort in something has no bearings on a truth claim. Does that make sense? It says nothing about reality. Whether she does or doesn't love me, it doesn't say anything of it. I can still take comfort in something. It doesn't automatically follow that it's true or false, mind you. And third, how do we know that you're not just not believing in God? Because that also, too, is a crutch. Right? Because if the God of the Bible is real, are you with me? If the God of the Bible is real, and there are such things as judgment, justice, penalty for sin, damnation, God rendering to those a good works or that lack thereof, in my worldview, there's a punishment for sin. How do we know, Mr. Atheist, that you're just denying God because you don't want to be accountable for your own sin? Isn't that just as convenient? Right? Isn't that just as much of a crutch as me believing in God? Could it be that a crutch for you is that you don't want to have to align with these other types of things that Christianity calls for? Like, I don't know, loving your spouse? Right? Is it not fair to say that you, as much as I, could be guilty of the exact same claim, but that objection to the faith is not an objection. It's not a true argument. It doesn't have premises. It doesn't follow the laws of logic. Therefore, it's a wild assertion, and I might as well have said, something off the wall. Right? Makes sense? You guys with me?